Hi, family. This is your sister, the Messiah, Juanita. I know it's been a long time, but I'm excited to make this video. And I have one or two more I might make. But I want to talk to you about Pentecost right now. So we are still in the season of the spring, and Pentecost is coming upon us. Now, I know most calendars say Pentecost has already happened, but it has not. They're using the calendar that came out of the Middle East from Jews that are no Jews. And it's imperative that we learn how to count the holy days because they are times of visitation. There are 3 times of the year that the Father required a meeting with the men. And the men representing their families. And they were holy days. The first one is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Now, this is going to come out of Deuteronomy 16:16. You can find it in Exodus and Leviticus as well. 3 times a year shall all your males appear before Yahuah your Elohim in the place which he shall choose, in the Feast of Unleavened Bread and the Feast of Weeks. There is called Shavuot in the Hebrew, and in the Feast of Tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty. So he gives instructions, Leviticus 23, Exodus, throughout the Torah, you'll find instructions, but he tells us that there are 3 times that he will meet. If you don't get those days correct, we'll miss our time of visitation. And he said, if you're not looking for him, he's not coming for you. He's only coming for the ones that are watching for him and keeping his word and his name. So Habakkuk says 2 cannot walk together unless they agree. That means they have to agree on a time and a location. So these 3 feast days, you have early spring, late spring, which is close, very close to early summer, and then you have the fall. The way that we should count is by the moon. The English Standard Version, which is a closer translation than even the King James Version, and it tells you that the full moon is the new moon. And Proverbs, Psalms, Samuel will bear those out. It will tell you the new moon is the full moon. The book of Enoch, chapter 78, I believe it should start around 11. Get to it. 10. And Uriel showed me another law. When the light is transferred to the moon, and on which side it is transferred to her by the sun, during all the period during which the moon is growing in her light, she is transferring it to herself when she is opposite of the sun. During the 14 days, her light is accomplished in the Shemayim, and when she is illuminated throughout, her light is accomplished full in the Shemayim. On the first day, she is called the new moon, for on that day the light rises upon her. She becomes full moon exactly on the day when the sun goes down in the west, and from the east she rises at night, and the moon shines the whole night through till the sun rises over against her, and the moon is seen over against the sun. So those of you who are early morning risers or up during the early part of the morning, you may have noticed the sun and the moon up and its glory both simultaneously, one sitting in the east, one sitting in the west. that is an indicator that the moon is full. So learn to count. These feast days are most important. So you have to wait till after the spring equinox, the first full moon after the spring equinox, you begin your 14-day count up to Passover. The same thing in the fall. You have to wait till the fall equinox comes, and then you begin your count at the full moon, the first full moon after the equinoxes, whether it be spring or fall. And that way you'll know the times of the holy days. And it's very important that we know those times. For one, he gave us instructions to know those times. And for two, major events are going to happen around those days. May not be exactly on those days, but there surely would be beacons or signs or signals. He told us that in Genesis, that the sun, the moon, and the stars are for signs and for seasons. And it let us know what season we're going into, not just an earthly season, but also seasons in spiritual seasons in which we need to watch for. So Pentecost this year, according to my count, will come on June 18th, 19th, from the one evening to the next evening. So that will be Father's Day and Juneteenth. But verify, do your research, think about these days. Don't use those calendars. He told us that the enemy was going to seek to change times and seasons, and he's done that. And we're all off and not on one accord for those of us that celebrate and keep these holy feast days. Let me add that Pentecost, it is the only feast day that is a demarcation from the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So in the northern hemisphere, when it's spring, it's fall in the southern hemisphere, and vice versa. But Pentecost, the whole world would be on one accord. It would be Pentecost everywhere, in the northern and the southern hemisphere. So, and it is the wheat harvest. Now, you have to know, he told us that we were wheat. Some reapers asked Yahuah about the wheat and the tares growing up together. And this is going to be 13 and 25. So, but while men slept, the enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the household came and said unto him, Sir, did you not know, did not thou sow good seed in your field? From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, An enemy has done this. The servant said to him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay. Lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow up together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. So a lot is going to happen. But first, those tares are going to be bundled and burned. And this is during the wheat harvest. Everything that he writes and gives us is a type and a foreshadow. And those that have ears to hear can comprehend and discern what is being said. He considers us wheat. And when the wheat harvest comes, the reapers will come out. They have a job to do with the tares and with the wheat gathered into the barn. There is an harvest known as a rapture, but I don't believe it's what everybody think that it is going to be. Whatever it is, wherever he is, that's where his chosen shall be with him, wherever he is. But if we do not prepare and sanctify ourselves by the washing of the word daily, we will not be with him. We cannot take our position for granted because we've confessed the Father, but you're not living holy. You have to have a pure heart. You have to be sanctified by the washing of the word. And you have to keep his word and his name. In order to keep his word, you have to know his word. And the righteous scarcely make it in. As for me, I'm doing all that I know to do to stay holy and set apart, that I might be counted worthy to escape all the things that's coming upon this world in the end time and stand before the Son of Adam. We have to be prepared, live in a perpetual state of preparedness. Anything else, Father? Let me read that scripture in Revelation that tells you that I know, this is 3 and 8. I know your works. Behold, I have set before you an open door, and no man can shut it. For you have little strength, and has kept my word, and has not denied my name. And his name is not God. He has a name. It took me a long time to discover his name. I knew that Jehovah was close, but it was a transliteration. His name is not God. Give him more respect than to call him God. True intimacy is reflected when you call a person's name. The enemy wanted his name blotted out. If you are not sure, ask him what his name is, and then go and keep his word. Separate yourself. Do not be caught up in the things of this world. Be prepared for his coming, because he is coming soon. I know that has been said since 2,000 years ago. And some people have gotten relaxed. You don't be one of them. And be prepared for his oncoming. I'll be back with another video. Peace and blessings.